If you've ever experienced the phenomenon known as childhood, then you've probably heard the joke, "Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side?" And if your reaction was anything like mine, it was probably one of indifference mostly. Like, to me, it just kind of blended in with all the other nonsense jokes I was hearing as a kid. But at the same time, I was always aware that the joke had been around forever. Then I basically didn't think about it for 25, 30 years until now, because I had to make this video about it. And now here you are thinking about it too. So let's talk about it. Might as well at this point. In this video, I'm going to break down the meaning and story behind the joke, as well as the controversial method in which it became popular, and how it's been used and modified throughout the decades. Welcome to Jokelore, where I talk about the story and meaning behind all types of jokes throughout history. Alright, let's get into it. The joke, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" came out of New York State and is actually one of the earliest documented examples of anti-humor, which was a style of comedy that first became popular in the mid-1800s. Instead of traditional setups and punchlines designed to get as many laughs as possible, anti-humor's goal was to make people feel uncomfortable by reversing the expectation of the joke, sometimes even embarrassing or making the other person feel stupid for participating. In this case, when you ask someone, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" they'll usually, back in the 1800s, they would usually assume it's a joke and expect a clever punchline. They play into it and ask why, but then you just drop the most boring, obvious answer, and that makes them kind of feel dumb for asking. Comedy. The earliest known appearance of the joke was in 1847, when it was published in a magazine called The Knickerbocker, a monthly literary magazine based in New York. The paragraph reads, "There are quips and quillets which seem actual conundrums, but yet are none. Of such as this: why does a chicken cross the street? Are you out of town? Do you give it up? Well then, because it wants to get on the other side." Does that paragraph sound unhinged to anyone else? Now, the way the joke rose to national popularity is a bit of an awkward story. It was blackface shows, which were an unfortunately popular form of theater back in the 1800s, which primarily featured blackface. Christie's minstrels were one of these blackface groups. They were formed in 1843 in Buffalo, New York by Edwin Pierce Christie, a well-known ballad singer at the time, and like other groups would perform the joke on stage during their tours. Apparently, Christie's minstrels were particularly responsible for the spread of the joke. Alright, well that's really cringe. Now, it's important to acknowledge that in the 1800s, this anticlimactic, anti-joke format was new to comedy. It was right at the cutting edge of joke technology, okay? And it went on to inspire many different iterations throughout the decades to this very day. Over the years, the joke has been modified countless times with some alternative punchlines, including, "To prove to the opossum it could be done," okay. "It didn't, it's a matter of perception," getting a little philosophical with that one, and "because it was social distancing." And the modifications can range from alternative punchlines to completely different expressions of the joke. In the mid to late 20th century, its primary use was for satire and parody. It was modified with puns and wordplay, like in 1867 when this variant appeared. "Why is a chicken crossing the road like a burglary? Because it's a foul proceeding." Comedy. In the early 1900s, the joke went on to become popular in children's books. Did not have the blackface to children's books pipeline on my bingo card for this one. That is wild. What a versatile joke, eh? In the 40s to 60s, the joke format was used by stand-up comedians and TV shows as a way to keep their bits current.
Coffee. There we are.
Merci.
There's a war going on, Miss Milligan.
They would even use meta-humor at that time to make fun of how popular the joke format was becoming. That's kind of surprising. Which makes me think now, meta humor in wartime propaganda. That would be a good topic of a video. By the way, let me know in the comments what other jokes I should cover next. In the 70s to 80s, it became a popular way for comedians and satirists to make cultural and political commentary, specifically to make fun of the events and figures at the time. In the 90s and early 2000s, the anticlimactic joke format went on to become a huge part of pop culture and internet culture as we know it. Do you remember that? You remember the 90s, Grandpa? Grandma?
My spoon is too big. My spoon is too big. My spoon is too big. I am a banana!
And while I can say this about many other things, today we can largely thank social media for keeping the spirit of anti-humor alive. God bless the algorithm gods. I love you so much, algo gods. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and yes, even YouTube have played a vital role in the proliferation of alternative humor in this miraculous age that we live in today. And that's the whole story in a nutshell. This joke has a way more interesting and shady backstory than I would have guessed. Like, I had no idea this thing was basically the harbinger of all things anti-humor for generations to come. And while in hindsight its involvement in minstrel shows isn't a huge surprise given the decade, it was definitely an unexpected left turn during my research. You never know what you're gonna find out there in the annals of Jokelore. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you liked the video, please do drop a like, it would be super helpful. And if you're down for watching more Jokelore in the future, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, be good out there, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time. Peace!